Okay, everybody say hi.
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 Wanting the best for our children when it comes to health can lead to some difficult decisions. Do we prevent illnesses by providing vaccinations, or do we let children build up the healthy antibodies by naturally acquiring these immunities? With growing technology, available information is always at our fingertips. We can learn the pros and cons of vaccinations and what different illnesses are. When a child is born, the first thing a parent must do is decide whether they're going to vaccinate or not. Healthcare professionals believe that vaccinations are responsible for the decline of many childhood illnesses. Research done by the Pediatric Academy Society reports in 2003 that childhood vaccinations in the United States prevented about 10 million cases of illness and prevented about 30,000 deaths per year. Vaccines prevented about 20,000 infant deaths in the United States, and other disorders such as brain dysfunction, paralysis, and even cancer. Ann Shutat, MD, Director of the CDC National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, was stated as saying, "Vaccines help our bodies make protection against life-threatening infectious diseases. Vaccines work by preparing a child's body to fight illness. Our immune system has a memory. So when we get an illness, our bodies will make antibodies to fight off that illness. Vaccinations do help people around us, and it's called herd immunity. So if the 4 of us in this room, 3 of us are vaccinated, and the 4th person is not vaccinated, that 4th person can cause the illness to be spread throughout our country, society, all over the world. It's innumerable where it could go. Most vaccines have a full protection against the disease or illness. Opponents would argue that the reasoning behind the diseases not being prevented are because our society is healthier and cleaner. People opposed to childhood vaccinations argue that children's immune systems would be able to deal with most illnesses and with a natural stronger immunity if they're allowed to develop. If children received the entire panel of immunizations, they would receive about 32 immunizations. And it would be 12 that are fully recommended. The 12 that are fully recommended would be diphtheria, HIV, hepatitis A, hepatitis C, measles, mumps, polio, rubella, and tetanus. And this is kind of a schedule showing when the Pediatric Academy recommends those shots be given. The most common side effects of immunizations would be swelling at the site, some fever, possibly some redness, and maybe a little bit irritable. Occasionally, someone could be allergic to eggs, and that could cause them to have a reaction to the immunization, and it could cause redness at the site, swelling, a rash, or even a fever with that itching. Although there are some claims relating autism with immunization, there are still no direct studies to prove such claims. Researchers have not found a connection between autism and childhood vaccines. Many parents believe vaccines cause autism, but the U.S. Court of Federal Claims ruled recently that the vaccines do not cause autism after examining several studies brought forth by the Institute of Medicine. Now, there can be damage caused by the neurotoxins, which are the material found in the vaccines, and some of the ingredients can include aluminum hydroxide, aluminum phosphate, amino acids, formaldehyde. The Center of Disease Control states that the chemicals added to the vaccines are very small, and they're just used to help preserve the vaccination. Federal laws do not mandate vaccinations, but some state laws mandate vaccinations. So if you decide not to have your child vaccinated, you would need to go through the legal process of having papers signed to have your child cleared of not having vaccinations. The responsibility ultimately lies with the parents who make the final decision to vaccinate or not vaccinate. A perfect example here is, this chart is kind of small, I apologize. This is from the CDC website. The smallpox vaccination then and now. This shows we had about 29,000 people with smallpox before. Now we have 0. Diphtheria, 21,000 people. Now we have 0. And the list goes down the line. The other one I wanted to kind of bring to light is the percentages. And this is from the National Vaccine Information Center. The decrease, the percentage. We have, we're at 100% when it comes to vaccinating for diphtheria, for example. 99% for influenza, measles are 99%, mumps 99%, so, and polio is 100%. So having your child vaccinated would definitely prevent those diseases. As a parent, we do need to weigh the risk associated with this disease and associated with the immunization. As parents, weigh all the facts when it comes to immunizing your child. We must look at all sides of the coin, research all avenues, and listen to your gut instinct. Knowing their children is the future, and only wanting what is best for their well-being, this can be a daunting task.